Okay, sir. Isuru, can you please start our presentation?
Good morning, dear teachers, judges, and my dear friends. We are here to talk about the mystery of the series of gas blasts that took place in our country in the recent past. I am Saroj Isuru, the host for Team 4, which consists of Sanjani Isurika, Kauli Rajapaksha, Hasini Jeevanti, Piruni Ashalya, Tinali Rivinima, Disal Tejan, and myself. The objectives of this study are finding the reasons for LP gas cylinders to explode, finding the actions taken by the relevant parties to solve this problem, finding how these gas blasts affect the daily lives of Sri Lankans, and how to reduce the damages happening from these gas blasts. First up, our team leader Tinali is ready to take you through the introduction and some other key facts.
Thank you, Isuru. History of LP gas consumption. Sri Lanka started to use LP gas after the British Ceylon government established a company named Colombo Gas and Water Company. Later, it was established in 1872 and later it was named as Litro Gas. Liquefied petroleum gas consumption of Sri Lanka. The average usage of gas in Sri Lanka is 3,100 barrels per day. As shown in the below chart, the gas usage of Sri Lanka started to peak up since 1995. Production of LP gas. What is LP gas? Liquefied petroleum gas is a byproduct of natural gas extraction and crude oil refining. When producing LP gas, the composition of gases changes according to the temperature zones. In Sri Lanka, the ratio of propane 30% and butane 70% is used as the composition. As shown in the table, the explosion limit of propane is more higher than butane. Composition of liquefied petroleum gas. When making LP gas, as shown in the chart, other than propane and butane, a small percentage of pentane is also used. Butane is a more expensive gas when considering with propane. Average LP gas production of Sri Lanka. The annual production of LP gas in Sri Lanka is summed up to a total of 441,341 metric tons as on 2028. Supply route of LP gas. The annual LP gas is collected when natural gas production and when making crude oil. The collected LP gases are brought to the gas filling stations and filled into cylinders, and they are distributed for domestic use. Thank you. Next, I will toss the opportunity to Piruni to lead the presentation.
Thank you, Tinali. When we talk about reasons, there can be various reasons for blasting a gas tank at present. When it comes to faults in valve, a valve is used to control the flow of gas into and out of a storage cylinder. There are two valves in a cylinder. Most of the times, gas blasts happen due to leakage of gas through valves. Mishandling gas cylinders can lead to gas blast. By dripping, hipping, or exposing a cylinder to heat can cause weaknesses or cracks in cylinder shell. The normal composition is 30% propane and 70% butane with 5% changes either way. If composition changes from above value, it won't be able to bear the pressure inside the cylinder. Gas cylinders are filled with liquefied gases which can become liquids at normal temperature. If cylinder filled with unbearable amount of gas, it can explode due to not having enough space to expand the liquid inside the cylinder. The regulator should be replaced every 10 years for proper maintenance. Overusage of regulators and hoses also can lead to explosions of gas cylinder, mostly due to leakage of gas. When we handling a cylinder, precautions should be used in order to prevent any accidental leakage. If not, accidents such as explosions can happen. In here, it explains how gas leakage can happen through gas cylinder and whether it is safe or unsafe for people. If leakage happens through a very old or weak gas cylinder, there will be no huge impact because gas cylinders are designed to tolerate high pressures. But if the leakage happens through cylinder valve due to old condition or not tolerating to high pressure, is unsafe. There is a possibility of gas leakage through threaded valve inserted on the cylinder due to repeated usage, and it is also unsafe. If we talk about the regulator, if the regulator is not rated for higher pressure operation, it can also unsafe during a leakage. There can be a leakage through hoses and hose connections as they are old or hose connectors are not tight enough. In appliances like gas cooker, if it is not designed to operate at the increased gas flow rate, there can be explosions during a leakage. So it is also should be rated for higher pressure operations. So next I invite Hasini to explain about public, government and companies' opinion about gas blast.
Thank you, Pirini. So I am going to explain you about the different opinions that has been expressed by the government, companies and opinions. So the public opinion about the explosion of gas cylinders. Gas companies, namely Litro and LAF, were blamed for amending the percentage of propane and butane inside the cylinder. Public opinion was that the explosion occurred because of the change in composition of propane and butane. And also in the given table, you can clearly identify that in past, the propane to butane ratio of Litro gas company was 30 to 17%, and in LAF gas company, that was 20 to 18%. But in present, in both companies, the propane to butane ratio was 50-50%. So according to this, you can have a clear understanding that the opinion of public is some kind of a correctness and it is truth of change of composition. And people face many difficulties because of soaring gas prices and shortage of LP gases. So in the given pictures, you can clearly see how people are in queries in order to fill out their gas cylinders, and there are boards which are telling no gases even too. So next we'll see what are the company's opinions about this gas explosion. So the opinion of Litro Gas Company. The opinion of Litro Gas Company was that there's nothing wrong with our gas cylinders. The wrong is with the equipment which has been used by the customers. And the giant Basnaika, who was the head of the Litro Gas Company, told that from his own words that from our side, we are ensuring that our cylinders are safely assured, and from the consumer side, they have to be caution about the appliances. Then the opinion of LAF Gas Company. The WKH Vegapedia, who was the owner of the LAF Gas Company, also says the same, that was nothing wrong with the composition of gas cylinders. So overall, the both companies is telling there's no wrong with the change of composition and no wrong with our cylinders. The wrong was with the equipment which has been used by customers. Next, we'll see what are the government opinions about these gas explosions. First of all, I must say the government opinions is some kind of a contrasting one because we'll see why is that. The president appointed a committee to look into these gas explosions, and Professor Shanta Valpalage was the head of the committee, and he handed over the final report on 20 December 2021. And he told that he had done all the investigations from data collected in the scientific method, and all information has been collected from stakeholders and from the places where the explosion had been occurred. And also, his final conclusion was that the major reason for the gas explosion is the change of composition in gas cylinders, while the cylinders, regulators, and stores and other equipments have remained unchanged. Only changing factor is the composition of gas cylinders. Then there are some other ideas of the government sector too. For an example, the Tushan Gunawardana, who was the former executive director of Consumer Affairs Authority, he told a different idea. He told that retrogas has changed the composition of the gas inside, increasing the propane value about 30% by decreasing the butane value. Next, the Jayanta D. Silva, who was the Telecommunication Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka, and Deshabandhu Tenakon, who was the senior deputy inspector general, both of them told that use of regulators and stores could have been the reason for the explosion, because investigation has been done in the many parts of the country has revealed that the equipment used are in a substandard. So by listening to this, you can get a clear understanding that there's some kind of contrasting ideas in this government sector, because some are telling this is due to change in composition, and some are telling this is due to use of substandard regulators and stores. So at last, this is the overall idea of the different opinions which has been expressed by the government, public, and companies. Next, I would call down my friend Isuru to give an explanation about the damages caused for people due to these gas explosions.
Sini, damages for people. There was a large Yes, I'm here.
So there was so many damages for people because of this accident related gas blast. A total of 847 gas related accidents were reported in 2021. 7 people died from these accidents, while 16 others were injured, and 18 accidents result in property damages of people. Next, we have a short video related to the damages for people.
Fifty-two-year-old Ashoka Priyangade, a resident of Wilgamore, was a mother of 4. She would still be alive had responsible authorities taken action against the gas issue. What is the mistake she committed to losing her life at an unexpected time? The only thing she did was buy a gas cylinder to cook meals to feed her kids.
Look, I keep at that, and I'm not going to be in the instead of that. We know I done it, and it's still a big line. Yeah, no, I am not here.
Priyangani lived in a rented house in Nattaramputta in Kundasale for the convenience of her children's education. It was at this house that the tragic gas-related accident took place. For more than a week, she fought for her life at the National Hospital in Kandy, and she lost the battle, unfortunately.
So next I will invite Kauli to lead the presentation.
Thank you, Tinali. So as my friend said earlier, many damages occurred due to this blast, and it's the government who must work, taking the citizens' safety as their priority. So the government became responsible enough to take some actions. As their first action, the State Minister of Cooperative Services, Marketing Development, and Consumer Protection, which are some institutions under the government, started to carry extensive tests on the composition of gas to protect the consumer. The government has taken steps to suspend the 18-liter gas cylinder released by Litro to the market. A committee was designated by the President on 30th November to investigate the episodes of LP gas chamber flames and blasts. So the committee brought up some recommendations which are more likely to prevent further damages. I'll read out some. To ensure the gas cylinder purchased has no leaks at the point of purchase, providing 2 numbers of local police and the investigating committee to report gas leak needs, to refrain from using various methods that are not scientifically proven. Leaks must only be tested by experts, and to ensure the regulator is not of inferior quality. Companies which produce these gas cylinders also took some actions for this situation. Love Gas, which is a privately owned cooking gas company in Sri Lanka, were unable to import liquid petroleum gas due to lack of dollars in the market. The table given shows how Litro Gas led the market of FP gas cylinders. Love Gas at early produced 40,000 to 50,000 cylinders per day, but now it's 10,000 to 15,000 per day. Litro Gas passing all their past production count and Love Gas production count currently produce 85,000 cylinders per day due to gas shortage. Companies changed the composition of LP gas because the Court of Appeal earlier this month ordered that both Litro and Loves maintain a mix of 70% butane and 30% propane in the LP gas cylinders, they say. Litro company issued 200,000 new gas cylinders inserted for the cylinders which were used without proper maintenance over years. Due to the high levels of demand for Litro gas, the company released 180,000 cylinders to the market, and its daily filling and distribution activities took place 24 hours a day. So as a result, consumers were able to do their gas-related work efficiently. Next, I would like to call out my friend Sanjani to continue this presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, Kauli. Let's continue our presentation. I'm going to talk about the precautions to reduce gas explosion. How do we get prepared before the gas explosion? Do you have any idea? Now let's get into those things. First of all, you should ensure the gas cylinder purchased has no leaks before using. To that, you can remove the cover and spray with soapy water to the tank valve and regulator. If you can see the bubbles, immediately inform to the gas provider and don't move the cylinder. Companies have strongly advised not to spray soapy water because there's a high risk to burst the valve of the cylinder. So, other than using soapy water, we can use a balloon. If the balloon gets stretched, it means there's a leakage in the cylinder. But my opinion is that isn't much practical as soapy water. If the gas cylinder has no leakage, then you can fix the regulator. We should always be careful with the position of the stove and the gas cylinder. The cylinder should keep in upright position minimum 6 inches below the stove. Also, remember to place the stove where there isn't any strong wind flow. You have to make sure regulator valve and rubber hoses aren't any faulty and not used more than 2 years because the gas can release from those faulty parts. Most of the people don't give much attention to those tiny facts, but they can cause a huge damage. Did you know the liquid petroleum gas hasn't any odor? It has been added by the companies as a safety measure. So if you smell any odor like that, prevent from switching on any electrical appliances and immediately open doors and windows for ventilation. You can get some precautions while using the gas stove. Always light the matchstick before using the gas stove, otherwise there is a probability to bring a disaster. And also keep the other woods aside while cooking. At last, please keep the regulator switch off while sleeping or going out. Because of the unawareness of the people, they kept their regulator switch on and going out. It could affect badly to the lives of the people. I suppose you get some important things from my explanation and it would help you to minimize the damages caused by the leakage of gas. So this is the end of my part. I will hand over this presentation to Tinali.
Thank you, Sanjay. So this is the summary of our presentation. The recent explosion of domestic LP gas cylinders will mostly happen because of the change of composition of propane and butane. Both companies, Litro and LAF, has identified the problem, and as solutions, they have started to produce LP gas cylinders as the previous propane and butane composition. Even though the accident have been stopped, the government has announced the customers to be more aware when using LP gas. So we have came to the end of our presentation. Thank you for all of the members who engaged for the presentation. Especially thank goes to our sir for giving us a kind of really touch topic so we can get a huge knowledge about the topic. Thank you.
Okay, so we had a very good presentation on this. So then please stop the screen sharing. We're going to continue with the Viva session. So dear students, please stop your screen sharing. Right, okay. So now our examiners are ready. So the examiners, please note that there's only 5 students in this group who has presented today, right? And actually at the beginning also there's a very limited number of students in this group, team 4. So then I think we can ask about from the leader, how many students you had, and then in today's session you had only 5 students. So yes, Tinali, do you have any idea about that?
Yes, sir. We had 7 members. Disal, who's one member, he is not able to join today because of the current problem. So sorry for that.
Right, okay, it's okay. You have managed really well. So then I want to emphasize that idea. As a team, you have came across with these barriers and all the other stuff. So compared to the other teams, here we have less members, but all the members, almost all the members, they have presented also. So that's a different point in this group we can specifically see. Okay, so we can get the comment from the examiners, and then first of all, before commenting, moving to the Viva session. So then as a team, you can face this Viva session. You can answer just after the question. So then try to give your best answers. If you can explain the answers, it's really good. Okay, to the point, you should give the answer. Chitara, you're going to ask a question, right?
Yes, I'm ready. Good morning, kids. As you all have discussed about the major problem caused by the gas blast, you all explained about the parts of this glass cylinder, but contents in it, and you all must have seen they have the ways to check how the gas leak. And I saw that one kid was explaining about the test to leak the gas leakage. So if there's a gas leakage, there's another hint that gives by the gas cylinder. What is it?
Yes, can you summarize the question finally?
Rather than putting soap water putting soap water
think-
or spraying? Sure. What?
I think it's by the smell.
Kauli? I can't hear you. Sorry.
I think by its smell, we can.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
By the smell, she is telling us.
Yes, there's a smell. It's a bad odor. So I'm asking, what is the cause for that? What is that come? What is that come from?
From gas cylinders, due to gas leakage, we get a bad odor from it. So we get a hint that it's about to get a blast like thing.
Yes. And I'm asking, what is that smell? And from what is that smell come from?
I mean, she's asking for the chemical compound. I'm right, Chitara?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Answer, but I guess it's propane.
So if you have searched
Sorry,
about
Actually, we cannot find the data about that. The data we have got is that the liquefied petroleum gas does not have a odor, but for the safety measures, the company has added a odor. Because of that, by the odor, people can take precautions by the odor, because
so we are clear.
the gas is leaking when there is odor.
Actually, we need the
So-
point. Okay, actually, we need the point here. So Chitara will explain that. Yes, Chitara?
Yes, there's an odor. It's because of the ethyl mercaptan is added to naturally odorless LPG for the aiding detection of leaks.
Yes, that's the exact answer we are looking for, right? Okay, so we have explained around that, but it's not the exact answer as we have received. Okay, so to try the next one, Shavinda. Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good morning, all. So my question for you all is, now gas blasts have become a peak topic during the last few months, right? As you mentioned, gas explosions are based on the major reason change in composition. Do you assume that it was caused due to lack of knowledge about chemistry and physics behind it, or what are your arguments based on this?
Yes, can you summarize it again?
Yeah. Summarizing the question, do you assume that these gas explosions were caused due to lack of knowledge about chemistry behind it, or what are your other arguments if you have any?
Yes.
So
Nihali?
I am going to tell the answer about that. As sorry for the noise.
It's okay. You can continue. Just
Yeah. As we have mentioned in our presentation, butane is somehow expensive than propane. Earlier, the companies have used more percentage of butane when making LP gas, but in the first season of 2021, the companies have changed the composition of propane and butane to 50% to 50%. The main reason for that is because butane is more expensive, even though Sri Lanka is a country in the equator zone. In countries which have cold climate, they use 100% of propane because Sri Lanka is
So I think Tinali, we can't hear you.
we use propane more than butane because the cost for their production.
Yes, Shavinda, have you received the answer exactly, or what is your idea about that?
Okay, but yeah, the answer is fine. And I would like to point out two more reasons that I think are reasons for this. So first is the negligence of the government and responsible authorities. They have to be more responsible before letting this to a whole society. A whole society will be in danger because of their negligence. So that is what I'm pointing out at first. And the second, should consider more on safety than savings. Like she also mentioned that, like, because they wanted to save money or some kind of thing, they had changed the composition. But it's the first safety, it's the first thing that we have to consider, because it's the lives of many people. Like as they showed in their videos, we saw there were a lot of tragic accidents that happened during the past few months. So I mainly think it's due to the negligence and not considering that safety is very important. Thank you.
Right, very good. Manuli, you are going to ask the next question. Yes, Manuli, are you there?
Good morning, everyone. The mystery of gas blast in Sri Lanka has become the current hot topic, and multiple incidents of gas cooker explosions have grabbed the news headlines. So my question to Team 4 is, according to the experts' hypothesis, what could have led to the leaks from the cylinders?
Again, can you summarize the question?
Yes, sir. According to the experts' hypothesis, what could have led to the leaks from the cylinder?
Yes. Okay. Any answers from our students? Yes.
Consumers using inferior quality what is
Excuse me, I cannot hear you.
Yes. Any others? Any others? All the other members can try.
Hello.
I think according to the experts, they said that consumers using inferior quality regulators results in leakage of gas cylinders.
Manli, is it the answer or any others?
Yes, sir, there is another answer to this. So according to the experts, increasing the propane content of the cylinder to 50% had resulted.
Okay, I think she lost the connection due to a show, so she will join soon. However, she said that the increasing the propane concentration up to 50% is also has done the damage like this, and then that inferior quality of that equipment also has done the same thing. So we have received the partial answer from our students, so then we are satisfactory with that answer. Okay. However, we are going to summarize your marks now. So then, Chitara, you can give your opinions and summarize your marks. Yes, Manli, are you going to continue? Yes.
Hello, sir. So
Yeah,
sorry for the poor network connection.
Yeah.
So according to the experts, increasing the propane content of the cylinder to 50% had resulted in high pressure, which had led to the leaks from the cylinder.
Right, it's there. So then that's the answer that we have suggested, but partially I think they have given the answer, right, Manli?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. Chitara, you are going to finalize marks with pros and cons, right?
Yes, sir. So for the creativity, organization, and teamwork, I'll be giving 4 marks. And accuracy and content, I'll be giving 2 marks. Presentation skills and overall finish, I'll be giving 3 marks. And for the Viva question, I'll be giving 2 marks. So as I take individually, Isuru and Tinali, they were very good in English, but it's not about reading a piece of paper or something. You have to present it like in a way you are doing a proper presentations. And both of you all had the eye contact with the camera, and that's a good point. And Piruni, Hasini, they were also good, but Hasini, good, but I can see that you were reading the content on your PC. And Kauli also good at speaking, but you were a little bit fast. And Sanjani also, she's also good at speaking English, but you have to be like more hyped up, like give some more energy on the presentations. So for the plus points, I'll be giving like it's a good point of extracting the images of the public to show how severe the problem was. And also it's a good because you were contrasting the opinions of the government and the company owners. So also this shows that you all are clearly aware of the root of the problem. Also, I saw that there were some network issues for Isuru, and Tinali was ready to take his part, and that was a great plus point. This shows the organization and the teamwork skills of your team. And using the news video of that tragic incident was a good point. And also Kauli was answering, and she was answered the question correctly, and also Tinali was also trying to help her out, and it's also a good point that shows that you got their back on. And as I saw, some of your teammates are also missing, and everyone were able to cover up it at, and that's a major point. And when it comes to the negative points, compared with the other three teams, the presentation slide isn't that much attractive as I expected, like when comparing with the other three teams. So in the committee recommendation slide, it's not good to show a huge description on a single slide, because normally when using slides, we use slides to give an idea. It's better if you could put some exact point only. And also, it is better if you could improve the presentation skills and the creativity of the slides. And other than that, everything was quite good up to a level, because you all were adapting to many problems. And after sirs tell us only, we all know that some of you all are missing, and I was really impressed to know that you all were covering up the parts. And good job on that. And I think some of you all must be facing such a project for the first time, and it's good. And I hope you all will improve in the next session or in the next one or something. And this is a great experience for you all. So best of luck for everyone. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Chitara, very much. So then you have given all the points about our students, naming the students. That is a very good thing, because you have watched it starting from the very beginning to the end, point wise. So then you have given your idea. So that is really valuable for the students and for their entire future presentation lives. Right? Okay. Shavinda, yes, you're going to summarize.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So this is how I awarded you marks. Creativity, organization, and teamwork. I've awarded 4 marks out of 5. Accuracy and content, 3 marks. Presentation skills and overall finishing, it's 3 marks. And for the Viva session, it was 4 marks. So the overall mark is 14 out of 20. And now I'm going to comment on your presentation. First, the pros of what I've seen through your presentation. You guys were very polite. The first thing I saw is like you're talking to other people, so you have to be very polite, and that's a good point I saw in each member of your team. And you all did a good presentation. You all had given a lot of effort for it. And the backups, as Chitara said, the backups and how you all covered up for each other, that was really amazing. And that was good team spirit. And that impressed me a lot. And also overcoming challenges now. As mentioned, that one lost connection due to the current failures and all. So, but you all were ready to cover up for him, and that was really great, and that really impressed us all as judges. And I saw that you all presented the measurements for safety, and that was really appreciated. Like, this is a current situation that we all have to face. We don't know when or where. So that's better to give precautions and safety measurements that we could take. So it's great. And I appreciate your effort. And the piece of video that you all showed, that was really heartfelt, and that showed how tragic this incident was. So that was a good attempt to show what it really cost in the society. And Cowley, I noticed you were really impressive, and she gave a good expression. So that was well done. And pointing out to the other side of your presentation, I slightly heard, instead of saying butane, someone said it's butane. So don't make mistakes during a presentation, because facts are very important. So you can't state false facts during a presentation, okay? So maybe because of you were nervous or something like that. But remember to be precise on what you're talking, to be more confident. Tinali, you were kind of unsure at the beginning, you were unsure on what you were talking about. So first thing is, when you're doing a presentation, you have to have confidence first in yourself and then in what you're talking about, right? Okay. So, and to be honest, there was a lack of energy in your presentation, maybe because you all lacked team members or some kind of errors, but I wanted more energy from your presentation. Like, it's not a reading competition or something. You all have to entertain the people who are listening. Okay, not just state the facts. In stating facts also, you have to be more attractive and let the listeners get attention on what you're saying. Like, don't let their minds go off from your presentation. Okay, so that's a point. You have to improve it. I hope you all will improve it next time. Activeness, as I said. So I told it for all groups. I think that you have to stop reading and just become more active and more be more active in the presentation. Like, stop reading what you have written on a paper. You all have to maintain eye contact. Presentation skills is what we have to be more considerate in doing a presentation. So it's different from storytelling. Now, this is a presentation. If you're doing storytelling, that's a different thing. So in a presentation, you have to consider all these facts about your presentation skills. And now, when emphasizing the facts, you have to be more you have to balance your voice. You have to emphasize what you're trying to say to the people who are listening. You have to give an idea and give them a message. Like, you did the presentation and here we gave a message for you all. So that's what I wanted to see from your presentation, because a lot of tragic incidents have occurred in the past few months because related to this topic. So try to give a message in a more emphasizing manner. And summarizing is a good point at the end. So that's all I have to say about your presentation. I have awarded you 14 marks out of 20. And so, do you mind giving me 1 second more?
Yeah, sure. No issues, good.
Okay. Now, this whole presentation thing took me back to several years back. I was a member of one of the groups back then, and now here today I'm sitting as a judge, sitting as a member of the judge board, and I'm really happy about this. I was here last year also. I was a member of the judge board, and yeah, I'm really impressed to see your presentation skills, and I'm really happy to see how our youngsters are improving them. And of course, sir, you are giving all of your students good chances, and thank you. I'm also here because of you. So thank you so much, and I'm really glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Actually, I am also lucky to have students like you. So Shavinda, thank you really. Thank you very much for being here. Just from a small invitation, as I have invited last day, so then she has just accepted within seconds and she joined this session. So that is a really good help for me, a timely help for that time, Shavinda, Chitara, and Manuli. So then finally, Manuli, you are going to summarize your marks also. Yes, this time for Manuli.
Okay, sir. So the overall presentation was really good. In terms of creativity, organization, and teamwork, you all will be awarded 3 points. The subtopics are arranged decently, but the theme of the slide could have been a bit more attractive, vibrant, and captivating. You could have used more bold and attractive fonts for the side headings. You could have also slightly shortened the points on the slides. Overall, it was a great attempt, and the team coordination was remarkable. When Isru was having some sort of technical issues, Tinali did cover up his part. That is a great example for all. In terms of accuracy and content, you would be getting 4 points. You have provided accurate details and explanations required for the topic. And in terms of presentation skills and overall finish, you would be awarded 2 points. The introduction lacked energy and the flow of the presentation could have been a bit more lively. The members need to develop a bit more expression and body language while speaking and explaining the points. I have noticed that some of you were just reading the points that is being presented on the screen. So reading out the points on the screen is not an advisable quality while presenting. And there is also a scope for improvement. And I know most of you are facing a lot of technical issues, which is totally acceptable. And in the Viva round, you would be awarded 3 points. Most of you have attempted the question really well, but could have been a bit more better. I wish you a good luck, everyone.
Yes, Manoli, what is the total mark? Is it 13?
So 1 minute.
Yeah.
So it's 12.
It's 12, right? Okay. So thank you very much. So we are going to finalize your marks. Right. Then it is 13 marks, right? It is 13 marks out of 20. Our team members you have scored. So then we are going to wrap up the session from here. So actually, they have done an amazing job, all the teams. So then here we are dealing with team 4. So then finally, what I have to emphasize, number one, I want to thank my examiners, valuable examiners, for your getting your valuable time and being here to give your ideas, give your experience, how to make this presentation more accurate, more precise in your future presentation. So that is a very good thing. So then I'm really lucky to have examiners like you, number one, and my dear students, then I'm really lucky to have students like you. You have collected as a team, you have dedicated as a team, and you have done a remarkable job here. So then I would like to thank you, and then for your future endeavors. And then our examiners also, again, thank you very much for being here for me and for our students. Thank you very much. So we're going to wrap up the session from here. Okay, have a nice day.